Hi, I'm Kristin Martinez. I am the owner of PAX Therapy and Family Services. And today I'm here with Carmen, who is a therapist here. And we're going to be talking about New Year's manifestations, goals, resolutions, and maybe some roadblocks to actually getting them done.
Right.
Is that right?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, this is the time, right, when people are talking about, all right, New Year's resolutions. What are we going to manifest for this new year? And especially coming off of a very difficult past 2 years, 2020, 2021. I think people are really looking for hope somewhere. They just want a fresh start. They want it to be different. They want things to go back to a way that they are comfortable with. So, you know, it's a challenging
time. Do you think it's possible? Do you think it's possible for things to go back to pre, I don't know what to call it,
pre-pandemic? I
guess we'll just stick with the pandemic.
Well, I like that. Yeah. Okay. I honestly don't think we'll ever go back to that time in a lot of ways, but I think you know, a lot of good. We have to recognize the good that has come from the difficulties that we've gone through, and we are hopefully getting stronger. But I can see where people are just sick of it. They're just tired. They want to get out of this. They want to move forward. So they're looking to, you know, build upon that and go, okay, what can I do? It's like, I have not had control all this time. I need control. What can I do? What kind of changes can I bring into my life in this new year? And it may not go back to what I want it to be, but hopefully, you know, I can make some difference. It will be better.
What are some of the manifestations or resolutions that you hear, that you've been hearing?
Well, you know, there's the typical, I want to lose 25 pounds. I want to, you know, that's the typical. We want to go back to, right? I want to work on myself. Gym membership skyrocket in January. And then by February, March, everybody's fizzled out again.
In the therapy office.
Sometimes, yeah, right? Right. Yeah, that's a good question. I guess for me personally, I look at all aspects of my life and what I want to work on. And I think kind of a good tool to think about when you're looking at this is, you know, instead of saying year-long goals, here's my year goals, let's break that down to more bite-sized manageable pieces. What's your goal for January? What's your goal for by mid-January in the next 2 weeks? What's your goal for today? You know, let's break it down to where it's more attainable and we can actually truly start to manifest these things that we're looking for. If I say, hey, I want to take a trip to New York, okay, great. Well, I better start breaking that down to, I need to figure out, do I want to fly there? I want to drive there. What are the details of that going to look like? I need to map that out. I need to look at the weather patterns. I need to decide what vacation I have. Who do I want to see along the way? There's a lot of details in these goals that I think a lot of times people will just throw goals out there and they don't do the work to really break it down to bite-sized pieces. So that's a big piece of really making things happen.
I've heard a really good advice if you've got like if you're a person who always says, I want to take a vacation this year, but you don't take a vacation, is that you book it. Book a hotel room. So it's done. You know, book your, if you have the money to book your flight, but book your hotel room that requires a deposit, and then you're more apt to like follow through on that goal. It's like you've already got skin in the game.
Oh yeah, that's it. You're right. And there's so much more. We know that there's a lot more going into planning a vacation than booking a hotel room, right? But you're right. It's like, all right, I threw it down. We're doing this. Now I've got to make a move. Yeah. So you bring up a good point. It's accountability, really. And that's one thing I think that is so key for people when you are making these goals, whether they be daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly. Let's have a buddy, sync up with somebody who has a similar goal and make it a point to check in with them on a regular basis. I have certain girlfriends that I will meet with monthly, and that's just, we have to do it. And we know the difference when we skip a month for whatever reason. I'm missing that time. We are each other's accountability partners, and we check in on all aspects of our lives. How's it going here? How's it going there? So that's a really big piece of goal setting, is accountability.
Yeah. So I'll give an example. This year, I set my word with this trend of giving your year a word. My word is me.
Ooh, I like that. That's a good word.
And the purpose of that is to just like refocus onto the things that I would like in my life, and to really set the boundaries with everybody around me so that I no longer am last, because I'm tired of that. So if I'm like thinking about it through like the two tools that you were sharing, like break it down. So like, what does that mean for my particular resolution? I think it's like looking at each area of my life, right? It's not like a time frame, but more of like breaking it down into like each relationship that I have, and seeing like, is this everything I'd like it to be? And if it's not, okay, what are the things I would like different? And then to, what am I actually in control of that I could actually change to refocus on me? And then accountability. So I'm lucky to be a part of a group. It's kind of like with your friend, who holds us to a lot of what we say we're going to do. So we have a 52-week breakdown. So it not only into my relationships, but also into our 52 weeks, a breakdown of what I'm doing every week towards that goal. So yeah, I love this. This is great.
That's incredible. Yeah.
What would you say to the people who have the more common, I hear weight, yes, the gym membership. I feel like that's like the biggest one I ever hear every year.
Yeah.
What would you say to people who, maybe they feel like they fail at it every year? Like, they know the year comes around and it's like the traditional, get the gym membership, go for a month and then drop out. Like, do you have anything to say to like that can help them like maintain their gusto?
Yeah. I think a fun tool is visualization. And let's just visualize a stop sign. You've got the red, the yellow, and the green. Look at everything that you're setting yourself up for in these goals through that stop sign. So the red would be, okay, what do I need to stop doing? What's something I need to stop? So if my goal is to lose 25 pounds, I probably need to stop eating C's candy. I mean, just probably would help. Then, look at,
how much,
or, eat like, I can have one piece every 3 days. Okay. So there's my stop. There's my red light. Okay. Then what's my yellow light? What is something I'm doing now that I can maybe switch up, adjust? Let me just, put a twist on that. And, so that might be, I'm already walking 1.5 miles a day. So I'm going to up that to 3 miles a day, 4 times a week. So I'm going to shift it a little bit. I've already got the habit instilled. I'm just going to try and boost myself up a little bit. So that's my yellow light. And then the green light, okay, what's something I want to add to the infrastructure to help me meet that goal? So I'm going to add eating a salad for lunch every day or something, so just, I think, make it reasonable, and really, again, that accountability is huge. with yourself. And when you're setting these goals on a daily and a weekly basis, you can, not like you have to weigh yourself every day, but you can gauge yourself and, hey, today I had a bad day. I didn't do so well on that goal. It's okay. Tomorrow's a new day. We don't have to wait for the new year to get it right. We can wait for the new day to start over again, and let's re-engage, let's re-energize. So yeah, I think the stop sign is maybe a little helpful visualization that can be utilized in pretty much all of those goals, and just not to lose heart when you have a bad day or when you feel like you failed. Hey, get back up. Tomorrow's a new day.
When you were talking, I was reminded of something else. Like, you've got this like goal, 25 pounds or whatever, but why? Like, what is the purpose? And maybe sometimes we get too caught up in like the actual, like what we're doing, but what's the real reason underneath it? And if there's not a real reason underneath it, then why in the hell are you doing it?
Right.
Just to torture yourself? Like,
isn't that true?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you don't need to lose it, or you have no reason really to lose, then why do it?
Yeah, I wonder if that is just something that we get caught up in with comparison, seeing other people doing that, saying they're doing it, and seeing it on social media. So there's so many trends that it's easy to get caught up in that we don't even realize we're getting caught up in.
Yeah, and there's so many complicated issues with weight, like family and boundaries. Being able to tell people no, or being able to stand up and be like, no, actually, like this. I enjoy my Seeds candy and or not even that, I just like how I look or am, or and butt out. I don't really care what you think.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's a whole other thing. I think that's where, getting into therapy can be so incredibly powerful for someone who is, you don't have to be on the floor just broken to start therapy. The new year is a great time to get into therapy. Even though you're feeling great, that's awesome. Let's work, because that really allows us to work on other things that we may not be able to get to if you're feeling in that broken state. And so much like what you're talking about, hey, why is it that you want to lose 25 pounds? How do you see yourself? How do you view yourself? What does your self-worth look like? Where does that come from? I think that's a great thing to start working on in the new year, in therapy. Absolutely.
Yeah. So getting deeper into maybe why people keep coming against roadblocks, because I think a lot of us tend to have like the same issues over and over again. Like, for me, I know being exhausted and feeling worn out is like an ongoing problem. And it comes up, like, I'll think it's resolved and like I've set the boundaries, and then it'll come up in a whole new way. And back to the therapy room I go to figure out why is this coming up again?
Absolutely. Yeah. These cycles that tend to perpetuate. Sure. We all have them. You got that right.
Yeah. Why all of a sudden do I not care about myself? Why all of a sudden am I, sitting around and isolating all day? Like, why? Yeah. Why am I anxious to go out and be around people? Why can I not call my accountability partner? Like, there's so many issues too, when you break it down, that can even be obstacles to using tools to help you complete your goals. So I feel like, if you find yourself in those situations where you keep coming up against roadblocks, it's probably time to find a professional who can figure it out. Sometimes we can figure out real quick, real quick what the problem is. Well, a lot of the time is trying to convince, I think, our clients to see the problem.
Right. And a lot of times, hey, let's be honest, we don't want to see the problem. It's easier to stay stuck sometimes, because then it means, oh shoot, I've got to change.
He kind of sounds like a piece of crap guy, and they're like, no, he's great. And then 6 months later, like, he's a piece of crap. And I'm like, day one.
Yeah. They just weren't there. They weren't ready to receive that yet. Right.
Yeah. So
Timing.
too, like, it's such a normal experience to like take time, and the expectation too, like, new year, new me, like, okay, like maybe new year, new start to the new you, but
Yeah.
not really, not quite
Yeah.
yet the new. I'm a decade into therapy and I still haven't quite made the new me yet.
We are constantly evolving. So I think the key word you said, the expectation. So whose expectation is it? Where is that coming from? And I think society has such a big role to play in that. So, you know, sometimes it's like, all right, what I want to work on this year is learning to be okay with not being okay. That's a big one for me personally that I've been working on, learning to be all right with the discomfort, learning to not always fit in with what society says I should be doing or thinking or saying or wearing or being. It's okay. And I'm getting more and more comfortable with that. So, yeah, looking at whose expectations are we trying to meet? Is this really my expectation, or am I comparing myself once again to everybody else's best day on Instagram or Facebook?
I try and keep it real on my social media, because I feel like that is such a huge thing for people, like seeing people at their best, or those filters, those crazy filters. I don't even usually wear makeup at all, so I'm like, oh my god, that's fake. Like, that's impressive.
The catfish filters.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, those are great.
I should try them just to mess
but
around.
Horrible at the same time. Yeah, they're fun to play with, definitely.
Yeah, but like, definitely not what anything close to what I present as. You'd be confused meeting me.
No, this is much more relatable. Just be real. Just be real. Right. Yeah.
Some of the takeaway, you know, we've got like the first layer of the resolutions, which is like, this is what I want to do. And then really when we start breaking them down, there can be some real like deep-seated issues that either cause it to even be like something you want to do, or even like why you can't achieve what you've been trying to achieve.
Absolutely. And that's where, you know, it's good to jump in there and say, okay, what's going on? Why does this keep coming up? Yeah. And, you know, it's great to have, I would say, another thing, a goal that everybody should work on this year. Look at your circle of support. Look at who you surround yourself with, that you feel emotionally secure and safe with. Who can you be real with? You don't have to put those filters on with them. That's and if you say, oh no, I'm good, I've got my friends group, that's awesome. Well, great. That's congratulations, because a lot of people don't. Now go deeper with them. And really that's a huge goal I think that everybody should be setting, is building those relationships, going deeper. That can only serve you better in the new year.
I think
that will pay off dividends.
Yeah, and it's a soft point for so many people. If you, especially, I think single people who haven't yet found their person, I think it's especially a soft point for a lot of them, because they feel like your people are flaky, or they feel like they can't get deeper in friendships, or that they can't trust anybody. And those are all, unfortunately, the results of not having grown up like with safety around you. So there's lots of issues, and lots of things to address when trying to build a circle of support. But we also know, research shows us that the more supportive people and the more people we have around us, the happier people report themselves to be.
Yeah,
so
it matters.
Yes, it matters a whole lot.
Yeah.
Well, do you have any final words of advice for people embarking on their New Year's journeys?
Oh my gosh. Final words of advice. I mean, I think you touched on boundary setting. That we could do a whole other session on that. But I think that really plays in nicely with all of this. Boundaries are always something that are going to enhance anything that we're trying to achieve or accomplish. So that's just really flipping the script in a lot of ways, and learning how to assert ourselves with what we want. So I would encourage people to please get into therapy. It is okay to not be okay. And we are here to help you uncover and unpack a lot of very fascinating things that you may not even think are an issue, that could really help you.
If you thought you didn't have issues, just go to therapy.
You thought you were good? Come in. We'll tell you.
We'll find all of them.
Yeah, we'll shine a light on some things. And it's not scary. Don't be afraid of it. Don't be afraid of it. But really, if you want to start working a trajectory toward hope, toward change, toward goals, baby steps. And I think just getting in with a professional can really make a huge, huge difference, life-changing.
Yes. Well, thank you, Carmen. Thank you, everybody, for watching. And, hit the subscribe button if you want to, or don't, whatever. But thanks for watching, and hopefully we'll see you next time.
All right. Thank you.